Everyone had.
Yeah, you don't even know your shit ready.
Getting started without me.
Everyone has a unique gift, and Mike, the creator of the 1NELife podcast, believes most people don't know how to use their gifts or what they are. Mike wants you to see things from a different perspective and be true to yourself. The 1NELife podcast unites the world through art, fashion, music, and film. It inspires, motivates, and creates positive energy, love, and compassion to all communities and creates an equal playing field for all. On the 1NELife podcast, they cover topics like building relationships, overcoming adversity, habits of healthy people, and much, much more. We only have one life to live. Be yourself and live your truth. Add the 1NELife podcast to your playlist. That's the number 1NELife. Available on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcast, and your favorite podcast platform.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to the 1NELife podcast. I am Mike MIC Reed, and as always, I got the lovely Diana Gotti from the AV Wellbeing Coalition, doing it the Gotti way.
Hey, what's up? What's up, Mike? Money Mike.
You know what? I gotta say, I do appreciate you, and cause yeah, you know, I'm not doing well, and I'm gonna be honest, cause honesty is the best policy. Yeah. So I was told. That's what they say, right?
Sometimes.
But I appreciate your words of wisdoms, and you know, our conversations over the last couple of days. I truly appreciate it. But we're gonna still do this show, cause the show must go on, and we're just gonna talk about some stuff.
That's right. Like you said, in showbiz, the show must go on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Rain or shine.
Rain or shine. So
Smile or frown.
We doing it. Hey, you know what? I think even like last show when I was talking to Latifah when she was asking the question, what was it?
Struggling well.
So I am struggling this week. This week has been a fucking week for me, you guys. And if you guys follow me on IG, some of you know, because some people actually reached out to me, and like I was saying earlier, you know, I got some friends out there that people reach out to me, and I truly appreciate everybody that did reach out to me, because I did put out there that, you know, I've been having a rough week, and it's still going on, but I believe that I am struggling well.
Right.
You know, I can be honest about it. I can accept my responsibilities and, you know, actions that I did this week. You know, and you know. Right. I'm struggling, but I'm struggling well. It's just one of those damn weeks.
You know, what I always say is the great thing is it already happened. There's nothing we could do about it, right?
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
And it's good to be present, be in the know. Mm-hmm. However, the beauty of tomorrow is it's like a just empty canvas. And guess what? We're the paint. And now we can just create whatever it is that we want. And that's the beauty of tomorrow, right? Something to look forward to.
It is. And you know what? As much as I want to say, like, and I felt this way with a lot of my struggles over the last couple of years that I've been going through, because I can literally say, because I'm in it, like, I know what it feels like, right? Like, I know what depression feels like. And if you haven't experienced what real depression is, then I really don't wish that on nobody. Because it is a beast. It's a monster that you do not want to deal with. You know, it's not easy to get over. It's not easy. Like, it may seem like it's gone one day, and something else can trigger it real fast. Right. Like 0 to 100 real fast.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned that, because yesterday, shout out to the business women of God. Mm-hmm. I had Rosie and Nancy pray for me. And, you know, it was really, really powerful because, I mean, I know Nancy. She helped kind of puzzle that purchase for my first home. So she means a lot to me. And when they asked, what can we pray for you? And, you know, I said to them, stepping into my greatness. And she kind of looked at me and was like, okay. But sometimes what people don't realize is that I was in a storm. Mm-hmm. I really, really was in a storm. Moving back to the Antelope Valley was probably one of the hardest things for me to do, because I swore I would never move back. Mm-hmm. You know, I would tell people, like, don't go there. Right. Trust me. And here I am today, and this is my reality. So I've been in my cocoon for far too long. You know, Mike, thank you for pulling me out and allowing me to be present in front of this mic. You know, I continue to say, once I put these headphones on and I'm speaking into this mic, I feel unstoppable.
But you know what's great about you and what you're doing right now? And I kind of understand what you're saying about how when you moved away from here, you said you'd never come back. But God had a different plan for you.
Yeah.
And he brought you back here because you went through that. And it is, I believe, one of your purposes is to bring that back and help other people see a different path out here. Because it's not bad out here.
No,
I mean,
it's
it's been, trust me, because I remember about 25 years ago, my sister moved out here. And even I was like, ew, because, you know, I'm from Inglewood, like from the city. And I was like, Antelope Valley. I was like, ugh. I was like, why would you go out there? And, you know, I just had this misconception like everybody else from LA, you know, had. But I've been out here for almost, I want to say 4 years now. And it's not that bad. I've met some incredible people out here, business owners.
Right.
I'm a part of, you know, the AV Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, which is a great organization. I have a great team that I'm a part of. I'm part of the podcast with you now. I mean, so it's great out here. I know, you know, a lot of good people out here, and there's a lot of good businesses and things to do.
Yeah, you know, I was celebrating my cousin Sochil's birthday over the weekend. We were at Malibu, you know, and she is a Valley girl. And I met one of her friends, and she actually lives out here in the AV. And when we kind of, you know, introduced ourselves, and my cousin goes, "Oh, she also lives out in the AV." Right. And then her cousin, or I don't know if it was her cousin, but it was a gal that was sitting next to her, kind of made a face and goes, "Ugh, you're from out there too?" Oh my God. For the first time, I looked at her and I said, "Yeah, I am from out there." And she goes, "Oh, what is there to do?" And I said, "You know what? What isn't there to do?" I said, "There's so many great things going out, you know, or happening out in the AV." I said, "Maybe you're missing out." You know, but I got an attitude. I'm not going to lie.
I think a lot of people just have that misconception because when they come out here, they go and they hang out with the wrong crowd. They be in the wrong environment.
Well, it can happen.
And that can happen anyway.
Yeah.
I can say that about LA.
Yeah.
I know spots in LA, like little cities in LA that I'll be like, ooh, I'm not going over there. Like,
I know.
Like everybody know, don't go to the jungles.
Oh,
like, you know what I mean?
Right. Training Day is one of my favorite movies.
It's like, you know what I'm saying? But that doesn't define the whole LA.
No, not at all.
So.
Yeah, no. It's true that and that you say that, but there really is a lot of community just engagement here, and it really brings families together. It's even I moved from Echo Park in '92 here to the Antelope Valley, so I started elementary school, and I had never really experienced such peace. You know, it's funny because now in the mornings we hear the birds chirping, and then my husband always laughs and he goes, "Oh man, we used to hear the ghetto birds," you know, and it's true.
Right.
Lights, you know, like what's going on? I wonder what's going on now. And actually that's the beauty of living here in the Antelope Valley is that you can actually wake up and hear the birds and take a moment and even enjoy your coffee outside and just be present, you know?
I got bird feeders in my backyard. So when people go in my kitchen, they see all this bird food. They be like, "Why you got bird food?" And I say, "Well, look at my backyard. I feed the birds." Like it's, and honestly, it's one of those little birds. And I promise you, it's this big old bush that divides my property and my neighbor's property. Yeah. And I don't even exaggerate. There's about 50 to 75 birds that live up in there.
Yeah.
And I feed them.
You know, every year around March or April, I can't remember what type of bird it is that comes, but what's really cool is that they migrate back to our home every single year. So for the past 2 years, they leave their nest and people will come by, you know, and solicit, "Oh, we see that you have pests." And we're like, "That's not a pest. That's Ricky and Lucy's little love nest." Every single year we get to see their little eggs hatch, and then they have little birds, and it's the cutest things because in the morning, you know, my husband's filming that. But where else can you really say that you are kind of connected in one with Mother Nature out here? Right. So I'm so thankful for that. And sometimes people always say, "Do you know you got a bird nest above your door?" yeah, that's Ricky and Lucy. We named them Ricky and Lucy. I don't know why. I just thought it was cute, you know, and every year they always have their little birds there. I want to say they migrate to Argentina during the winter, and then they come back. So I'm looking forward to the spring because our little birds come back. But that's what I can honestly say. The AV has actually, and another thing we were touching on that with Yvonne is the sunset and sunrises.
You know what?
My God.
I look forward to looking at Yvonne's IG every day because she finds the dopest sunsets and sunrises.
Yeah.
I'm like, because sometimes you're hitting her like, hey, where you at?
Yeah.
Like, she be finding the dopest ones.
Yeah, actually, I noticed yesterday, Raina, so shout out to Raina from Fusion Movement.
Hey.
She posted a sunrise as well. She was on the boulevard, and I was like, man, that's so dope. I miss, traveling that early. You know, I'm not going to lie. We're not out the door till 7:30, so sometimes I do miss them. But I do catch the sunsets, and that's just so beautiful because you don't see that in LA.
Right.
You see a lot of smog.
Yeah, for real. Right?
So, yeah, I kind of did catch a little attitude when, girl said, you live out there? Yeah, I sure do. So, I'll repeat, I heard the other day is don't talk bad about where you live. You know what I mean? Because this is where we lay our head.
Well, let's give some shout out to a couple of spots out here.
Yeah.
I know the AV Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, we're doing a grand opening ribbon cutting for the Classic Shave this Sunday.
Ooh, I did see that.
January 15th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. On Beach Avenue in Lancaster.
Hey, so fresh and so clean.
Yeah, so definitely come out, check that out. I heard it's going to be a party.
Ooh, come on, fellas. Come get right.
Yes, absolutely. And what else we got going on? Oh, I got since we're talking about the AV channel, let me just continue with their stuff. February 7th, save the date. Our second annual Lunch and Learn, February 7th, 11 a.m. is we're doing real estate advice from the pros. So if you're in the real estate game, we're having a panel of real estate agents that we're going to be asking some questions to, and they're going to answer all the top number one questions and, give some great advice out there for everybody that's in the market. Because right now the market's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And I know everybody has a bunch of questions. So February 7th, you guys, Lunch and Learn at the Hilton Garden up in Palmdale. So come check it out and you can learn something.
Yeah, no, there's so much going on. I actually really enjoyed the last Lunch and Learn that they had with taxes.
Yeah.
That was pretty interesting.
It was. So that's something new that we're doing over at the chamber. Every month, for our lunches, is going to be Lunch and Learn with some industry, and we're just going to have a panel of professionals.
Oh, that's dope.
So like we had 3 tax professionals out there,
Yeah.
And for the real estate, I'm not sure how many people Andres has coming, but it's going to be about 3 or 4 people, and they're just going to give information, and we're going to do that every month.
Yeah. So actually, speaking of the chambers, I got a few little flyers that I picked up on the tables. So just a reminder that the Valley Press has their their AV Best Online nomination voting. So go ahead and hop on to the AV Press. I want to say nominations start from January 17th through February the 7th. So make sure that you guys log on, and vote for your favorite places. There's so many, businesses here in our Antelope Valley that are just phenomenal that you want to kind of get involved with. Yeah.
Go onto their website or?
Yeah, you can go onto the website and then vote online. So that's kind of neat. And what's cool is it gives you the different types of categories. So whoever's doing your nails, go ahead and, vote them on. And whoever's doing your hair, go ahead and vote them on. And whoever's doing your balloons or your events or your favorite restaurant or whatever it is.
Even your favorite podcast, the 1NELife podcast, I heard it was pretty dope. So,
That's right.
Hey, you know what? Honestly, because somebody told me, I think it was the other Diana, told me I should put it up there last year.
No, not
but
a
we
bad
just
idea.
No, it's not. But I don't know how to do it, so I got to go on and figure this out.
Oh, don't trip. I got it right here next to me, Mike.
Okay,
I got
cool.
you.
So go out there and vote,
and
y'all.
this is actually gonna be my last kind of announcement. I want to give a huge shout out to the Ventura Foundation. They are putting on a workshop that I will be a part of as well, developing our next generation of leadership. We do have an Eventbrite registration. It is for the youth. It is from the age 13 through 19. You must live in Palmdale and be enrolled in school. The great thing about that, Mike, is that they don't just have to do an essay. They can really show their strengths. They can do a poem. They can do art. They can put, just a speech together. I mean, whatever it is that their little hearts desire, just to express why it is that they would love to be a part of this leadership workshop. And we will be nominating them, January 26th, and the workshop starts February the 1st, and it will be held at the Gabriel House, what is located at 38147 10th Street East in Palmdale. So I am looking forward, guys, to see all of our youth out there. And I'm just so passionate about just the leadership. I always say that the contribution that we give to our youth, it's really into our future, because these are the future mayors, right? The future doctors, the future, even barista that's going to be brewing up your favorite coffee at your local place. So come on, guys, let's share as we can. Please feel free to follow me on social media, and even on the 1NELife podcast and on the Under the Wellbeing Coalition. We're going to keep kind of getting these flyers out there, but guys, get this out to our youth. Great program. Actually, I left the best part. It's free.
Oh, wow,
it is free.
Definitely the best part.
Yeah. And what's actually neat, I always say, after you do something awesome, you celebrate. We're also going to have a little celebration for them, and they're going to get a certification from the John Maxwell leadership. So it's great for resumes.
Nice. Dope.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see how that turns out.
Yeah. There's so much great things going on, for our youth. I wanted to kind of touch on gratitude. They asked if I can do kind of a little speech for a few gals over at Sage Junior High. And I was asked, what's the topic? And in my heart, I was asked, what is my word for the year? And it's gratitude. So I suggested, let's do gratitude. So I ask you, Mike, what's your word for the new year?
I don't know.
That's not it.
I don't know, because I wasn't prepared for this question. A word for the year.
Yeah, guys, let's think of a word that we can kind of channel through.
I like that, though. I just got to think of one. I actually like that, because gratitude for me, I actually did that last year, to be honest with you, because I don't know if you know, but I talked about this early on in one of the first couple of episodes that I did. But on my dresser, I have this gratitude box.
Oh yeah, you did. You were talking about that with Diana. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I've been doing that for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So every morning I write what I'm grateful for every morning. Even like the smallest things, like, grateful for my hot shower this morning. Like, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Like I'm grateful for all kind of stuff. And I've filled that thing up for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So I did the whole gratitude word. I think I probably need a new one this year.
Yeah.
I'll think about that one.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's gratitude. I don't give myself enough credit. I used to work in the medical field, and I felt that having a 9 to 5 gave me a sense of purpose, right? And now that I'm at home, I was like, what am I doing? What am I doing with myself? And I was getting a little bit kind of just anxious and desperate. And then I started beating myself up, and I really was like trying to get my resume back on track. And I was just going to get back out there. And I was like, man, I really don't want to go back into the medical field. And then I kind of gave you a call and was like, hey, Mike, I think I'm ready for that interview. And the rest is history.
You know, because I'm just actually sitting here thinking about it, because that's actually pretty dope. I think my word is going to be growth.
Ooh.
And I think that is going to be my word, because even though I've been on my mindset like journey for 3 years, I want to say now, I've seen a lot of growth in me. And even like really sitting here as this is going through my mind right now, like life always throws things at us, right, to test us. And I think what I'm going through this week, I can honestly say I've handled it super fucking well. Like, if I was me going through this 5 years ago, you would have saw a different person today.
Yeah, and
like
that's okay.
100%. And I could honestly say that. So I've grown a lot, but I want to continue to grow. Like, I'm reading a lot of books now, which is funny. I was talking to my ex-wife Nina the other day, and when I was over there, I think it was yesterday, I was over there, and we was having a conversation about our daughter, and she was like, hey, after I finish reading this book, I'm going to give it to you so you can read, because we both read a lot of books. And I was like, no, I got way too many books right now that I got to read. Like, I got, you know, like that Bible Adriana gave me. Like, I read that every night before I go to bed, but it's so many pages. Like, it's going to take me a long time to go through that.
And that's okay.
And because it's something that, it's not like an easy read like this book, right? Like the Well-Being Blueprint. The Bible is something that I'm taking very seriously. I've always had my reservations about the Bible, only because it's man-written, and I believe that, and I don't want to piss nobody off. I'm trying to, say this in the right way. Like, I talked about this before. Like, I don't believe in cults or religion.
No, I just think
like
that
the way of, like, I don't want nobody telling me how to live.
I don't think they're telling you how to live. I think it's also testimony. Sometimes when we navigate through certain things, right, through life. Right. I think that's also a blueprint of life, of humanity. Right. That's the best way to put it. No,
and you're 100% right, and that's what I'm getting out of it. So what the scriptures that I read every night, like I'm taking that and looking at it as a guide, and not like, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that. You know what I mean? I'm not taking it that way. But a lot of churchgoer people, that's how they push it on you.
Of course.
So that's what I'm saying. Like I believe in God. Everybody know God is my foundation, or whatever. But that's why I'm taking this Bible reading very seriously, because I do want to understand it from my perspective, and I want to use it as a guide. Yeah. And I'm actually enjoying it. Yeah. So
that's key.
Yeah.
It's the fact that you're enjoying and doing what you like.
Yeah. So it's one of my joys of joy.
Hey.
See, I've been reading. But I think my word is going to be growth, because I want to elevate my growth. Like, because I've seen where I'm at today compared to where I was when I first started the journey. And I love the space that I'm in now. Yeah. Even though I feel like, I'm dealing with, and it's crazy how when you grow and you get somewhere in life, that it becomes harder and harder. Like, because the challenges for me are harder and harder now. So I feel like I'm not getting nowhere, but I know I am. Like,
can when I take substitute hard with new, and new.
What?
Just, I don't know if I like the word hard.
Hard? What?
Yeah. Can we use challenging? Can we use new? I don't know. To me, hard has like new. Such a.
Think about this. A lot of the challenges you went through, you've been through them before. You just didn't pass them. I could say, like, they're not new.
I can say challenging.
They're more challenging.
I don't like the word hard.
Why? Because hard is not a negative word.
It can be. Sometimes when people don't want to do something, it's because it's too hard. Right.
It's hard because you haven't tried. Abraham Hicks talks about that.
Right.
It's hard because you have never, like, even what's his name? Eric Thomas says that in one of my favorite videos, the Guru video. He tells this group of kids, he was doing a workshop with his kids, and they was like, you can't say writing is hard because you have never written before. Yeah. That's why it's hard, because you've never written before.
But wouldn't it be challenging? It's a challenge.
Yeah, I mean, it is a challenge.
That's all I'm saying. I don't know if I like the
I like
word
these
hard.
pretty words.
Especially, yeah, you like them all too much. All too much.
You about to change my whole vocabulary.
Hey, but you know what? Sometimes we have to shift. We have to be able to do what is it? De-road in the in our roadmaps. If not, we're going to continue to go back into that negative and back into that negative. So we have to substitute it with the positive, and not saying that hard is negative, but it can put that that approach into something that we're trying that's new. So I tried it even for myself. I was told by someone when I was like, "Oh, I'm just busy." You're not busy. You're productive. And now I'm like, "Oh man, I was super productive." Because we can use that as a security blanket sometimes too. So if I tend to change certain words, my mindset changes with it.
Right. No, I get that concept.
You know what I mean?
And you're right. You're right. 100% right. I think like I was saying earlier, like for me, like this week's been a struggle for me and it's been challenging. And
Right.
I think when you're in the middle of it, sometimes it's hard to see past certain things.
Right.
Like even I was telling you yesterday or the other day when we was having a conversation, like everything you were saying to me, like I know all this stuff, right? I preach it, but when you're actually in the middle of it, like I know I'm my worst. Like I never follow my own advice. Yeah. My mind went blank right there.
It's okay.
I never follow my own advice.
Yeah.
I've been like that for years. Like that's been a huge struggle for me. Like I can sit here and preach positivity all day long and tell you what to do. I can give people advice and tell them what to do, right? But when it comes to me, I don't know if it's because of it is so challenging for me that I just can't see past certain things. Like I don't know what it is, and that's one of my struggles.
But it's not just you. I mean, there's certain people. I mean, for example, Brene Brown, when she was talking about daring greatly, she talked about the same thing, that she struggles herself with that, with all those voices, right? And already on the defense, or feeling nervous, or how are people going to receive it? We're not perfect. In fact, sometimes even like they always say, anyone in the medical field are the worst patients, right? Because they know everything. But if they know everything, why are they sitting in that patient seat, right? Mm-hmm. So I think it can be a little bit, how can we say, even for example, depression, right? It's a deep rest. It's almost sometimes a chance to hit the reset button, to really be present with our feelings, what we're going through. And like I told you that day, it's okay to feel what you're feeling, but you got to give yourself a time frame, right? To kind of step out of that. And you're right. You do know everything that I'm saying to you, but sometimes it's okay to hear it from someone else or from a different point of view, right?
Right. No, and again, you're right. And everything you're going to say to me today, you're 100% right. Like I have no argument about it.
Don't say it too much because I like always being right.
No, but like when you're in the middle of it, right? It's just hard. It's like how we was talking with Jacqueline from the Eric Foundation.
Yeah.
When people have suicidal thoughts, right? And this is a scientific fact, that 15, 20 minutes, they can't see past what they're going through. Right. So for me, when I was struggling this week, like even though I know all this stuff, I literally couldn't see past the problem, right? Or what I was going through. And by me, because I live by myself and like I don't have people around me, and like I'm at home, I'm just sitting there by myself, like all these thoughts go through my mind. I travel every day from LA to back out here to Antelope Valley. So I have all this time to think. Right. I don't have no one to talk to really. So, and I know I got friends that I can call, but I don't like putting burdens on people. So I know that's a struggle I'm still going through. But anyways, I have all this time that I think, and so I have all these things going through my head. Right. So I can sit there, and even though I have my playbook and go through all these things, right? Yeah, for a moment I can be okay, but then I have this thought that enters my head again, and it's like it puts me right back in it. That's why I said depression is a real monster. Like, yeah, I can get past it, but you just never know when it's going to come back.
Well, it's scientifically engraved in our DNA. Mm-hmm. That's why positive emotions or anything positive, it's artificial. We have to be able to introduce it to ourselves. Right. Can we recognize that we are struggling? Yeah, of course, right? So, to anyone that might be, kind of experiencing the same thing, I'll suggest this, and I'll give a few kind of pointers. Like you said, you're traveling, right? You can always listen to a podcast to shift that, right? So now it's not really giving you that chance to have those thoughts. Now you're substituting that negative with a positive emotion, right? Mm-hmm. You can listen to your just your favorite song to jam out. You could talk to a friend. You can catch up. You can count cars. You can really get creative or challenge yourself. How many out-of-state plates? And then really zone into that. Sometimes I'm such a nerd. I love looking at plates, like what they say. And then I laugh about it. I was like, Nene, love you, or something like that. And I'm like, and then I see a male and I'm like, that's not Nene, and I just distract myself. So what I'm saying is when you are kind of feeling, or in that zone, recognize, like I said, it's okay. We're in this emotion, right? We're navigating through this. How can I pull myself out without ignoring it? Because we don't want to ignore it, because we're just it's going to end up being a mine, and it's only a tick, tick, boom, right? So there's so many different things that you can substitute that. Like you said, you might not read as much. Well, download an audiobook. And when you're driving, listen to them. Those are the things that I used to use. Those are just fun tools.
And those things are in my playbook. Yeah. So again, I agree with you 100%. And I don't want to sound like a hypocrite, right? No. Like I preach all this stuff, right? But me going through what I'm going through right now, like I can honestly say that it is challenging. Of course. Yes, I have my playbook and I go through things, but for me, if I find myself that, okay, I can't get this thought out of my head, then now I'm going to, like you said, I'm not going to try to bury it or try to, put it to the back of my head, because like you said, it's a timeline, right? So I'm going to say, okay, you know what? Let me analyze this. Let me figure it out. Why does this thought keep coming back into my head? Let me figure out what is the trigger? What can I do to address this and move on? Right. So that's the state where I'm at right now.
Well, also accountability partners, right?
Well, yeah.
We're kind of holding each other accountable at this point.
Exactly.
Although you're like, well, you already know. Well, that doesn't mean I'm not going to stop suggesting other things.
Right.
And even if I repeat it, till I'm blue in the face, you're going to be like, fine, I get it. I'm going to do something different, right. Or give yourself something to be joyful about. Maybe, I know you said you wanted to get back into working out and getting into the gym, or, doing find something new. And then celebrate. Most importantly is celebrate. Damn, I really did finish that book. Dang, I really did listen to that podcast, and see, acknowledge how that made you feel and stay within that. Most importantly is savor the moment. Sometimes we don't stop and smell the roses. I might sound like a broken record saying all these things, but sometimes we have to repeat them. Because we don't know when we're going to, utilize them, right? That's why I always say I have a toolbox. If I'm going to be building a dresser, I'm not going to use all my tools, right, to build it. There's only specific ones. So just know that you have your toolbox, and it's okay to kind of go into it and be like, all right, I'm going to pull this out of my playbook. I'm going to pull this. I'm going to try this. But most importantly is take the action. Mm-hmm. Do it. Like you say, you want to kind of pull out of that. Well, let's pull out of it. It's just do it. Even in business, right? How many people have ideas, but they never do it? Right. You have to put it into play. Take the action, and that could be anybody. We're always all struggling, right? But how can you struggle well? Mm-hmm. Last week I had other hiccups, that I had, but I wasn't going to let it, take over. I continue to step into my greatness, because I said gratitude is my word of the year. Mm-hmm. I've been doing my makeup, doing my hair, dressing up a little bit, putting on a little bit of heels, And I feel good about myself, I'm stopping in front of the mirror and be like, dang, you a bad bitch, right? Something I don't ever do. And I was sharing with my husband, I was like, okay, now I got myself up, I dusted myself, and now I'm going to start working on me,
Right.
on my physique, right? Because we can always do better. We can always do better. And things will start aligning, law of attraction. If you put out positive, you're going to receive positive. But if you stay in the negative, that's where you're going to always, everything is going to keep just kind of falling apart.
No, and I think, and speaking of that, because, like I said, I'm reading this book, your Well-Being Blueprint, and I'm reading the Cultivating Positive Emotions, and I feel like this week I'm in that category, dialing down negativity, because I keep having these negative thoughts in my head, and like you said, if you keep doing it, then it's going to continue to build. So I'm practicing these 4 things. One of them is create healthy distractions. Like that's what you're just talking about, finding something that's going to distract you. Listen to a podcast, read a book, work out. Disrupt negative thoughts. Navigate negativity landmines. Yeah. What you're talking about.
Right.
Limit media time.
Right.
The limited media time, I think I'm pretty good at, because that's something we always talk about what you consume. I don't think I consume negative stuff, because I am conscious of what I'm watching online and what I'm watching on TV or whatever. I think it's the create healthy distractions and disrupt negative thoughts. I think honestly it's the disrupt negative thoughts that I'm really struggling with.
Yeah, do something good for yourself. It's going to make you feel good. That's what I'm doing. And it's the little things. It's not like I'm going out and doing the most. No, it's with what I have that's in front of me that sometimes we overlook, and I know you have your dog. Go out for a run. Take them out to other dog park. Other things that are going to distract you is what I'm saying.
And I do. And that's why Wednesday night I went to karaoke, right?
Yay.
Like I didn't sing, right? But I enjoy karaoke. I enjoy watching everybody else. So I went out over to the Zeldas, and shout out to Zeldas and Latifah over there. But I watched everybody else.
Yeah.
And that was a good time. I had a drink, and it was a good time for me. Even though I know people were looking at me like, why are you not singing? Like, what's wrong? Like people, they could tell, but, it was okay. And I was able to talk to a couple of people.
Yeah.
And I had a good time.
Yeah.
I didn't have the best time that I normally do, but I got out of my environment.
There you go. That's the first start. You got out the door.
I got out the door, and I had an okay time.
There you go.
So I'm doing the things. It's a process.
We have to be patient.
Right. So I knew I wasn't going to wake up Thursday morning and I think because my issue right now is bigger than it's going to take more than 24 hours, 48 hours. So I just got to go through it, and I think I am struggling well.
There you go. Hey, we all do it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's why even my kids, they were like, okay, Mom, you're doing your thing. And it's actually exciting to be out of the house and not be so available. Mm-hmm. It feels amazing. And it doesn't mean that I wasn't doing anything, because I was still doing a lot, managing my family and my kids and still being a friend and just, navigating through life. Just getting up out of bed, you're already winning. I think which is funny, because I like, trust me, this week I've been thinking like so much, and I think growth. That's why growth is going to be my word for the year. You said a year, right? Yeah, it's a long time. It's only January. I'm gonna hold you accountable.
No, and I want you to, because even though like like I said yesterday, I was over at Nina's house, right, and we're talking about my daughter, right, and I think like this generation compared to us, and I was just telling Nina this yesterday, because so yesterday my daughter, she was telling me this story, right, and she was like, yeah, I wasted, she didn't use the word wasted, she was like, yeah, yesterday I was at the ER for 5 hours and I had no idea, right, and I was like, wait, what, said it again? And she's like, what? I said, you was where for 5 hours? She was like, the ER. And I'm looking at my daughter like she's perfectly fine, right? And I'm like, why was you at the ER for 5 hours yesterday? She's like, oh, because, my daughter's a dancer, so she goes to dance class like almost every day. So she sprained her leg, I guess. And she said she went to the ER for that. And I kind of looked at her and I was like, and why'd you go to the ER? for 5 hours? And she was like, because I needed the doctor to tell me my leg was okay. And I was like, so I kind of answered these questions, right? And Nina knew where I was getting at, right? Like, let me stop you. She was like, your daughter got anxiety. She needed that confirmation from a doctor to tell her she was okay. If not, if she wouldn't have went, she would have been crying for a whole week with anxiety, thinking something's wrong with her leg.
Right.
And I'm sitting, that's why she was like, I'm going to give you this book after I get done with it. Because it's something about, raising a teenage daughter or something. And I was like, okay. So, but I told my daughter, because Nina had said that I was trying to clown my daughter. And I was like, well, I wasn't trying to clown her. She was like, well, that's how it came off. Like, you was about to clown her for sitting at the yard for no reason for 5 hours. And I was like, no, it's just when we was growing up, and I was telling Nina this, when we was growing up, like, we hurt ourselves. It's like, get up, walk that shit off, throw some dirt on it, right? Like on the Friday movie, like Ice Cube say, just throw some dirt on that shit, walk that shit off.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, take me to the hospital. Like I said, if you ain't bleeding, like, if you don't see blood, you don't go to the ER. Yeah. But this generation is so different. And so that's why I got to learn that. I got to grow. And, this whole mental health issue is really different from the time where I grew up.
Yeah. Times are different.
Times are different.
And in Spanish, our parents tell them, ¿Te estás muriendo? No, estás bien. Meaning, are you dying? No, then you're fine.
Right. Hey, I'm telling you, when I grew up, they say, do you see blood? No, then you're all right.
Right? It's cutthroat.
So, but I get it. And, so I had to understand and listen to them yesterday when they was telling me this. And I was like, okay, I get it. And Kira was like, Dad, you got to understand how my mind worked. Like, I got to know my leg is okay. So she needed that validation from the doctor. Is what she said. And I said, no, which is crazy because I said, Kira, you're just like me. Like, even though like this week, and I think I told you this the other day, one of the things that I'm struggling with because something happened and I don't know the why. Right. So that bothered me. So that's my anxiety. Like, I got to know the why. Like, what the fuck? Because something just happened. It was like no rhyme or reason for it. And it didn't make sense to me. And if something don't make sense to in my brain, like, I got to have it make sense or I'm going to think about it constantly.
But that also comes with control. When we don't have complete control of something or an understanding. I think that's where that self-regulation for us comes into play. And we have to understand, and it comes with patience too. Okay, well, you say control the what? Because I know I can't control people. And it's not that. It's like you want to know the why, and it's bothering you. But sometimes it's okay to not know. See, does that make sense? Not control in that aspect, but sometimes things are going to happen. I mean, people get fired or let go just for no reason. No, does that make? But that's like a different type of example of it, right? Of that control. But see, I was that kid that took everything apart. Like, I had to know how something worked. Like, if I was a kid right now, I would take this board apart to know how did these lights work. Like, that was me. I took everything apart. I had to know how something worked. So that's just how my brain works. And I think even having that trait, it's gotten me far. Like, look where, like, I don't have no college degree. I don't have no real education. Right. I've been on my own since I was 14, and I've done a lot. But see, that goes back to our character strengths when we overutilize. You see, when you overutilize your strength, that's when the imbalance comes, right? So knowing how, right, it works, that's helped you. But then wanting to control too much of it, like, I need to know. You're not going to know. And sometimes we need to be okay with that. That's where the balance comes in, where it's going to be a challenge because it's something new, and sometimes, like, I'll go back to mine is love, right? So I love people, but then I would love on the wrong people, or you can be, too loving on people, can you be too flirty? Yeah. That's overutilizing your character strength. Self-regulation for me is, I used to struggle with being organized, time management. you know, where I had to find that balance. Now I'm finding the balance in it, where now I'm trying to be a little bit more organized. I'm trying to show up on time. I'm trying to do certain things where I'm more aware of that. I think maybe it's the awareness that is going to give you that balance. You know, it's okay to not know the why, because with patience, maybe you'll get it. But understanding that it might not happen right now, it's also going to help you kind of navigate through those emotions that you're having. Like you said, I've been this way ever since, but that doesn't mean that that's the right way. Does that make sense? And sometimes that's the hardest thing to hear.
It is. And how we had this conversation when your husband Brian was here about, I got to know now.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I got to know now. Like, I need to know now.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
No, that's a need. That's
I
a need
know.
and a want. And
right, because I want to like get past this.
But that's just you.
Right.
Right? So now we're just talking about you. And then if it's a situation with a person, you can't control that. So that's going to frustrate you because you feel that that's a need that needs to be, but that's just one person. You know, in relationships, it's 2 point of views. You know, and sometimes that's why people argue. Sometimes people can't get over certain, you know, like it could be the smallest thing. You know, my therapist told me, I don't have to talk about it right now.
Right. Right. So I guess, would it be fair to say it depends on the context of the situation?
It can.
Because right now, the why that I'm looking for is just all about me. It ain't got nothing but to do with nobody else.
Exactly.
So it's just me.
You said it yourself. Are you selfish?
Am I selfish? No, I'm far from
exactly.
selfish.
So then you just said it's me. It's me. All I hear is me.
Well, no, yeah, because I want to know the why, but I ain't got to know someone else's why. I want to know. I just want to know the why for myself, so I can move on from the situation.
But if it's hurting you, then that's not healthy for you, and
that's why I'm trying to move on from it.
Right. That's what I've been trying to say. That's what I've been. But
that's why I
say
I need to know it now so I can move on.
Sometimes you got to move on without it, and it'll come with time. And that comes with patience. That comes with it comes with any, and that's what I was trying to say with me. I was getting restless about, you know, getting back out there and doing, but I'm not doing what I love. I'm not becoming passionate about. It doesn't align with my purpose. You know, if it's not good for me. Okay,
so let me ask you this, because I just had this conversation with a friend last week, and she actually went to. I introduced her to Dahlia.
Oh yeah.
And so a few days before she made a session with Dahlia, me and her had a conversation, and she was asking me about why her past keep coming up. And I asked her, I said, well, have you ever dealt with your past? And are you okay with the results that you came up with? And she said, yes, I'm left it in peace. I'm fine. And I said, well, obviously there's still something that you haven't dealt with that you're just not thinking about right now because your past keeps coming up. Right. And she was like, well, I don't know what it is because I'm at peace with it. And I said, but you're not because it keeps coming up. Right. So that's the situation I don't want to be in. That's why I like to get things over with and past so it doesn't keep coming up.
Well, don't you think you kind of have to prioritize? Right? It's a choice to live in your past, right, in your present.
Right.
So she might be at peace, right? But she's still putting that, you know, prioritizing that.
Right.
Because if you really did put that at peace, it wouldn't be your present. It wouldn't be your now. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Where we can't prioritize that. We have to substitute those things, you know, and that's the only way that you're going to be able to move forward. You know, like it's the same thing for me. I had to prioritize other things in order to move away from that.
Right. No, you're right. Again, I can tell you right. I can't argue with you on that because you're right. It's just,
I get that a lot.
I know this shit. I know all of this.
But it's good to talk about it.
No, right,
you know?
100%.
And not only that, but the fact that you're vulnerable enough to share this, not only with me, but with so many different people. You know, not everyone's going to be like, man, I got some shit, you know what I mean, going on. everyone is good, right? Everyone's
because,
at their best. No, you're not. Not right now. You might be struggling.
Right. But I said this even when I first started this whole podcast, like, I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I'm not going to pretend like I got it all together and that I know what to do every time, because I don't. Like right now, I don't know what the fuck to do. Like, I do, but
You do.
I can't see past certain things right now. So and that's why I said I'm struggling as well. Even though I'm struggling well, but I am struggling this week because I can't get past certain things.
Right.
And
well, then I think you have
me.
to realign your priorities.
Right.
Maybe that's what it is. You're unaligned. So you
But-
have to align yourself.
Right. And so my point to this was that it doesn't matter, how well you think you may have it or how well you think you might be. Like, we all go through it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care who you are. And I think we talked about that a few weeks ago when Twitch, passed away. Like,
Yeah.
people can be at the top of their game and whatever, but like depression and mental health is really real. And it's, again, I'm going to say it, it's a beast that is hard.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to say hard. It's
Challenging.
It's
challenging.
It is a beast that is not easy to contain.
Yeah. I mean, but that's why, I love Brené Brown, Daring Greatly. We have to be able to be real,
Right.
And say, I'm not okay right now. And that's okay.
Right. And you know what? So again, if I was going through all this stuff and I was myself 5 years ago, like, this would have been a whole different scenario. Like, it would have been it would have been a shit show. Right. But because I started my mindset journey about 3 years ago, almost 4 years ago, and I've been doing all this mental health work, like mindset work, and reading all these books, like, I'm able to handle and process it differently. And I'm growing, and I see that. And that's why I'm steady going and steady growing. It's because I'm not there yet. It's a journey. Like, it's not a destination where I'm just going to be.
Your word was growth.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not a destination where, next year I'm going to be totally fine. No, I'm going to go through new struggles next year.
Right.
But I'll be well prepared to handle them differently.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes it's a hard pill to swallow that we're not the same. We're not ever, like, I'm getting gray hairs. You know what I mean? I really had to sit in the mirror and be like, shoot.
You know what?
Did you see that?
You know what? And you know what? And like how you were saying earlier before we got on here, is like, this shit that came to me this week literally came out of the blue and gut punched me because I was not expecting it. You know what I mean? Like, I just was not expecting. My guard was down and it fucking hit me in the gut like Tyson hit me in the gut.
I was just posting Tyson the other day.
I know you did. That's what I was
dying.
saying. Like, so I mean, it hurt so bad.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things we go through in life.
But it's how you bounce back, and it's funny because I was cracking up when I saw that post from Tyson, where someone had something negative to say, and he said Tyson answered him, "Well, I don't know what where you heard that from, because this is the first time I heard.
Yeah,
I hear it. I hear
the
from
host
you.
said that, too, right? Talk show host.
Right. And Mike Tyson turned around and said, "I met the mayor, and what? You're an asshole." And because you said that.
Yeah, that shit came out your mouth.
You know what I'm saying? But what we fail to realize is that it's not us, it's other people, but sometimes we allow it to dictate us. And it's going to happen, right? We were talking about, we're not perfect. We're growing every single day. We're not the same person we were yesterday. I'm going to be 40 this year, and I see it, I feel it. I shout out to Lex Derm Aesthetics, because I just made my appointment for Botox. Got to get right.
Hey, I need to go over there. I want to try her. Oh my God, she's gonna kill me. I want to try what is it? Not the Botox.
The Morpheus. I wanted Is it a peel?
No.
The tightening?
It's
laser?
No. It's the bag with the juice in it.
Oh yes, the liquid IVs.
Liquid IV.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Heck
Oh my God, I couldn't think of that for nothing.
You know what?
I want to try the liquid IV.
Let me tell you something about that. Man, Brian and I were just like, we feel like crap. And so we made our appointment, and I was like, I think it's called a hangover. And boy, we went home and we were like Energizer bunnies. We were like,
Really?
But it felt so good. So honestly, I just think it's, just stepping into that office, it gives me that, that jolt of joy, but it might be biased because I love it.
Yeah,
You know,
you're a little biased, but I can say.
But I used to work that was the industry that I was in. I did cosmetic dermatology for many years. You know, I miss getting my chemical peels, and I should be a little bit more on top of myself. And when I was in Los Angeles, I was doing so many things. My skin was just on point, and it's not even, you know, falsifying my image. It was enhancing my image, and that's why I said, no, I'm stepping into my greatness, and I'm not getting Botox because I'm not accepting my wrinkles. I just want to feel a little bit better, you know, like, yeah. And there really isn't, you know, it's sometimes as women, we're very hard on ourselves. I'm not getting Botox when I'm at my worst. I'm getting Botox when I'm at my best because I want to enhance that. I keep saying stepping into my greatness. So watch out now. You're not going to be able to see if I'm mad at you or not.
And just to like echo that, like, whenever I stepped in, I've only been over there a couple of times, but you know, just her office, when you step in there, like, it's great energy in there.
Yeah. No, they are.
It is just great energy.
Yeah, actually, before I got here, you know, shout out to her office manager, Laura. She accidentally called me, and she thought it was someone else, but I was like, no, it's just me, Laura. I made my appointment, and she was like, oh, okay, I thought you were somewhere else. But to be completely honest with you, I actually like, you know, the fact that she called me back because she's a breath of fresh air. Right. You know, super sweet. She's been with her for so many years. And they even have a massage, you know, person in there. And that's dope, you know, it's like a one-stop shop. And you can really get it all. And you don't necessarily have to even get Botox if you don't want to. Get a facial, you know, kind of rejuvenate yourself. We all need that realignment. Even our cars need new tires, right? So it's the same thing for our skin. Kind of get all of that old, you know, skin from the 2022 and step into your 2023. I'm gonna have to charge, you know, Jay for this promo here. But no. Honestly,
she said I need Botox.
Who, Jay?
Yeah, she did.
I say this. Look, if you, I mean, I can't really argue that.
I'm not sure how to respond to that.
She's a doctor. I'm not. The way I see it is, if it bothers you, there's something for it. If it doesn't, it's okay.
It doesn't bother me. I just don't want it.
Well, then it's oh, you are out here lying. Then
I don't want it. I mean, I believe her.
Yeah.
But I just don't want it. Like,
you don't want what? The wrinkles or the Botox?
The Botox.
Oh, okay. And why not?
I like the way I look.
Okay, there you go.
You know what? And even like yesterday, Nina clowned me because of my beard right here, because it's the salt and pepper. And she was like, she said something. She's like, are you going to keep that? I was like, yeah, because I heard women like that. She was like...
She said, which ones?
Yeah. I seen a TikTok video where women said they like that salt and pepper look.
He said the TikTok video.
I'm keeping my TikTok on my salt and pepper look.
And you know what some women do? I'm not even going to be mad at that.
I like it, but no, most importantly, because I like it. She said, but it's only on one side. I said, I know, I like that.
Yeah, no, I say, hey, you know what? If it's not broken, why fix it?
Yeah,
you know, it's all good. But I mean, going back to me, yeah, I'm about to walk up in there with my Botox. I'm about to skip my little happy, joyful self the heck out of that. So I love, you know, having that me time. I've always said, you know, that was one of my jolts of joy, or even getting like chemical peels. Only because I just have to continue to be around people. I can't walk around looking all like a lizard for a little bit, but I'm going to have to get in there. But like I said, this year, it's gratitude. I want to give myself a little bit more of that. And I know that that's definitely the place to be, and to kind of give you that little nug, you know, like if you want to feel that little sass, go ahead and get up in it. Actually, even Sassy Couture, man, I get in trouble in that store. Oh, yes.
But even like, that's what I'm saying, like a lot of stores over here, you shout out to Sassy and Amanda, like even their store has a lot of energy. I remember when I first walked into her store.
That's where I met you.
Right, no, that's where I met you. So a week prior to that, I knew I was doing that event, but I had never been there before. So me and Diana went there one day just to kind of look out the spot and see how we was going to set up. And we ended up sitting on that couch, and we ended up having like an hour and a half conversation. And then and the lady behind the counter was like, "You guys want some wine?" I was like, "Y'all serve wine here?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Wow."
Oh, actually, they are having their
Yeah.
Galentine, I think. So you can actually kind of sip and shop.
Oh yeah, they got the sip and shop thing coming up.
Okay, so go ahead, Sassy Couture. You guys have to get out there. And I actually had a few compliments for my top that I was wearing at one of the luncheons. And I was like, that's Sassy Couture. That's, and the great thing is it's local. It's here. You don't have to go too far. And she's up on point with some fashion stuff,
she's real
so
dope, yeah.
I gotta definitely give her a shout out for that. I feel like we're doing a little promo out here for all our peeps
man.
now.
Well,
But that's the beauty about AV. We were even at Butler's coffee shop. It was my first time for cafecito. And what was really neat is that youth. The youth are the ones that are in there running, and it is a nonprofit, to help them with life skills.
Nobody there actually, excuse me, nobody there actually gets paid.
Right.
They all volunteer, and it's
Right.
ran. Butler's Coffee is ran by their church. I think it's owned by the church as well. But no one gets paid, so it's all volunteer work.
Right.
And they're all amazing.
It is.
I've been there a couple of times, and I've had a great time.
Yeah, I it was the first time, and I really had to stop and just really take it in and say, this is my community. This is where I'm from. My husband used to tease me because he was from Hollywood, and people would always ask me, "Oh, where are you from?" "Oh, I'm from Palmdale." So proud. And after a while, when I stayed out in LA too long, I was like, "No, I'm from Hollywood." Yeah, right. And then Brian would look at me and be like, "Girl, you ain't from no Hollywood." 661.
That's funny.
So that's why I always took pride when Afro the Palmdale song came on. I was like, that's right, we from the Dale. So it's a good place to be, y'all.
It is pretty dope. I love it. I love it out here now. Like I said, I know a lot of cool people. A lot of good spots. I got a lot of spots out here that I hang out.
I know. That's what's actually kind of cool. I'm realizing that there's a lot of hidden gems.
It is.
A lot of hidden gems, really good food, great environment, vibes, the culture, and people really are pouring their heart, into what they do and back into the community. That's what's important. I mean, Los Angeles, of course, it's LA. You can't take anything away from that. Right. But you get so lost in such a big place, in such a big city. You don't connect to people the way you can here. We're social creatures, right?
Well, yes and no, because I can say this, that in LA it's way bigger, but they do have their cliques.
Oh, yeah.
They have their little circles. And if you find the
course.
right circle, like because like I had my little circle when I was in entertainment. And I knew where to go in Hollywood, Melrose, like all these little nice little gyms out there. And we just had our own little spots. Yeah. So it depends on who your circle is.
No, of course. But what I'm saying is, like you said, there's so many places to go. Many, yeah. At least here, you might even run into your childhood friend that was unexpected. Where in LA, it's sometimes even rare, honestly rare, to run into someone that you even know. So you can maybe be, just having a bad day and be here at the Modern Tea Room, and you're going to run into someone and not only that, but see a lot of familiar faces. We were having lunch there yesterday, and there was two friends right next to us, and she started asking me about my nails, and then we ended up talking about, like kids and dogs, and the conversation went on, and I thought to myself, like, man, that's so dope that I can do that. I don't have to feel rushed. I don't have to run out to the parking meter, because I got to put more quarters in. My time's up. I can really stop and savor. And not only that, but have a conversation. You know what I mean? With someone that more than likely I'm going to run into at the grocery store. Be like, oh, I remember you from the Modern Tea Room. And I do that a lot. My kids always tell me, like, dang, Mom, you know everybody. It's not that I know everybody. It's that when I do see someone, I'm not afraid to say hello. I'm not afraid to make a new friend.
And see, I'm bad at that because I'm always out everywhere, and like networking is part of, a big part of my business. And so I meet a lot of people, and I feel bad because a lot of people always come up to me and they be like, "Hey, I know you somewhere," and I was like, oh, I know them, but I couldn't tell you their name. I couldn't tell you where I met them at because I'm so many places. Like, there's no way my brain could attain that.
Yeah, but the great thing about here is that we're gonna constantly see these people.
No, but you know what? So, when was it? Wednesday. I was in Long Beach.
LBC.
I was in Long Beach, and some guy came up to me and was like, "Hey, I know you," and I was like, "Really?" I was like, "Okay," like, because I get that a lot. Right? I was like, "Okay," he was like, "I don't know where I know you from," like, and then so we was talking, like maybe 10 minutes into the conversation, he was like, "Oh, I know you," and I was like, "Yeah." Because first thing that pops up my mind is, okay, you must have seen a video online of me or something, He was like, "Oh, I know you from karaoke at Madrono's."
Oh, shit.
Exactly.
Shoot.
Way out here.
Oh, God. Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, yeah, I used to work security up there." And I was like, "Oh," I didn't recognize him.
Yeah.
Like, I already didn't. But he knew me, and it was the truth. Like, I couldn't say no because, like, karaoke Madrono's there. You know me.
Yeah. You're
so
like,
it was
okay,
just crazy
facts.
how, like, he just came up to me.
No, it does happen. I rekindled my relationship with my friend Melissa. It was during COVID. I hadn't seen her for a few years, and we were at Porto's in Burbank, and she goes, "Diana," and I had my mask on, and I was like, "Yes." I was in my cocoon stages, and she goes, "It's me, Melissa," and I was like, "Oh shit, what's up, girl?" And then I thought to myself, in Burbank? Right. I was like, "What's going on?" She's like, "What you been up to?" And I said, "I'm back in Palmdale." Because I was in Los Angeles for a long, long time, and I was super active. So sometimes people do ask me like, "Oh, are you still in LA?" And now I proudly say, y'all, yeah, no, I'm not. I am back in Palmdale, and I'm here. Well, I won't say Palmdale. I'm actually in Lancaster.
I was about to say that. You're in Lancaster.
But you know what I mean? My heart's in Palmdale, I guess.
To me, it's the same. AV.
Yeah, I guess I'm borderline. But, I mean, Lancaster's new. Even when you grew up here in Palmdale and you went to the high schools and all that, we never came out to Lancaster. There was never anything happening.
I don't even know where the borderline is.
I want to say it's Avenue M, because that's where I see the sign, "Welcome to Palmdale."
Oh, I've never seen the sign. So.
Yeah, it's on 50th Street and Avenue M, right before you hit Northrop. So it says, "Welcome to Palmdale." And then the other one is on 25th Street and Pear Blossom. "Welcome to Palmdale" again.
Oh, let's see. I don't pay attention to the signs. So I never know when I'm in Lancaster or Palmdale.
You know why I pay attention to all this stuff is because I don't want to be in my mind. I don't like it there sometimes. So I'm a looky-loo. I really am. I'm like, "Oh, mira, look at that." And then I also know my way around. So I have to look at stuff so I can reflect on that. Be like, "Oh, that's right. It was by that one sign, or it was by that one building, or it was by that one tree." And that's something that I do when I'm driving. And I think that's why I really enjoy driving, because it distracts me. We had that conversation when during COVID we were doing, Uber Eats and whatever it was. But honestly, we just did it because we were driving it. We saw some of the dopest houses in like Beverly Hills and in Hollywood Hills during that time. And we really enjoyed every single second of it. And now when we do kind of drive, we're like, "Oh, you remember that one house that we went to that had that, that garden or the tree or whatever." But it's fun. I would say try it. You might like it.
I won't. I can tell you that right now. I won't. But you know what? My friend, he used to do Uber Eats, and he said he did around the Beverly Hills, Hollywood Hills area. And I remember him telling me a story. He met John Legend.
Oh, sure.
And he said he was on this one block up in the Hollywood Hills, and it was nothing but bushes, right? Yeah. Like you didn't even know it was a house.
Yeah, I believe
and that. And he was like, I guess the navigation took him to this one street, and he was just like, "Well, where's the house?" And he said all of a sudden these bushes and stuff, this whole gate just opened up, and John Legend walked out, and he was like, "Wow."
I believe that.
He was like, he is so hidden. He was like, "Wow."
Dang, that, you know, it's funny that we're talking about John Legend. I love John Legend. And the time that I saw him, we were actually in Vegas. He had like a concert at the MGM, and it was probably like 4:00 in the morning. We were a little excited. We were out there a little tipsy. And then I'm like taking pictures next to his, you know, his billboard or whatever and then I look to my left, and who is sitting at the bar? And his security guard locked eyes with me and said, no. And I was like, but it's John Legend. And I think that's when he was first starting to date his now wife, Chrissy Teigen, I think that's her name or something like that. But now that you're saying John Legend, I thought I'd kind of share that.
Yeah.
I wish I would have just ran up.
You should have.
No, you know what I learned? I learned that they're also people, and they want their space. They want to feel a little bit, you know, normal. But yeah, going back to those Uber Eats and traveling into those beautiful houses, man, we've seen some of the best views of the city. And what was best, or the highlight of all of that was, it was so quiet and peaceful. People were not out.
All right, yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was the best times.
Best time to be on the freeway.
Oh, my God. Oh, yeah. And people were very generous. The highest tip was $125.
Oh, wow.
We were laughing because we were driving our van, and I told my husband, I go, they probably felt bad for us and be like, dang, they got a gang of kids.
Got the soccer mom van.
You know what I'm saying? But I only got 2 kids, but thank you for that $125.
That's funny.
Good times, Mike. Good times.
Good times.
Oh, let's see. This is a good one. So I like to do my crush your goals, right?
Okay, yeah.
This is actually a good one. Be strong, be fearless, be beautiful, and believe that anything is possible when you have the right people there to support you. Now, ain't that something?
Yes, sir.
And that's randomly. I just pull them out. And you see me do it every single week. I pull out whatever's on top, and then I shuffle them. I put it at the bottom.
I like that.
I don't know. It kind of speaks on what we've been, talking about.
It does. It does.
I like these little crusher goals.
No, I like them, yeah.
Yeah. It's funny because someone gave this to me for my birthday, and then my kids gifted me another set for Christmas. I was like, dang, people are trying to tell me crush your goals, girl.
They're telling you something.
They really are.
So what we ended it with?
So I actually wanted to, I know you called me yesterday and you're like, let's think of a quote, something. So I really wanted to kind of put this out there, educating your mind without educating your heart. It's no education at all. So people, love one another and be kind.
Say it again.
So what is it? Educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. Let that sit there for a little bit.
I like that.
Yeah, it really touches home, especially because, again, my character strength is love.
My character strength is...
spirituality.
No. Oh, yeah. You know what? I'm thinking of the love thing.
Or your love language.
Love language, yeah. But you're right. Spirituality is my character strength.
Yeah.
Love language is touch.
See, my love language is quality time.
So...
Ooh,
I'm gonna end it with mine, but my second love language, and this is what me and Nikki was talking about last week, is words of affirmation.
But see, we have all 5 corrections.
No, right.
But some overpower others. Mm-hmm. For example, mine is quality time, and then acts of service and gifts were neck and neck.
Right.
And then words of affirmation and touch were like 7%.
Right.
So there's other things that, surpass others. And I think that it lines up with my character strength. That is love, quality time. Mm-hmm. That's so big, and I think that's why Brian is my best friend.
Right. But that's my third. That's my third one. Quality time.
It is.
Yeah. So.
Was it high in number, in percentage?
Yeah, my first 3 is high. The last 2 is low.
Yeah. What were your last 2?
Well, it's touch.
That's touch.
Touch, words of affirmation, quality time.
Oh, so acts of service and
acts
gifts.
of service and gifts.
Oh, that's interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah, because those to me are...
Well, gifts, I can see that being last.
But it's not what people think. It's not like, oh, I want to receive something. It's meaningful things. Like,
right.
I still have...
No, I know. I get it.
You
like
know
little
what I mean?
love notes. Like, I get that.
I have notes that Brian gave. I still have cards that, you know, my best friend Linda gave me for my 15 in 98.
We're not going to talk about that. Cause we're going to wait till next week.
Yeah.
It's your friend?
Yeah.
Who's there next week?
Next week it's gonna be Daniela with Tanvius.
So we got Daniela with Tanvius up next week. And we can talk about relationships.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about friendships.
Wait, friendships or relationships?
It's still the same.
Okay, it is.
Yeah.
So friendships, that's what we're talking about.
Friendship and relationship, it all comes hand in hand.
Okay, so that's going to be an interesting conversation.
Yay.
It's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a
Me
tough
and her
one.
go way back like both flats on a Cadillac.
It's going to be a tough one. Okay. All right, so I'm going to end it with this. Without commitment, you'll never start. But more importantly, without consistency, you'll never finish. Keep working, keep striving, never give up. Fall down 7 times, get up 8. Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship. So keep moving, keep growing, keep learning, be blessed, and stay positive.
Hey, I like that, see? What was the last part, Mike, if you don't mind? Just the last part. What was that last sentence? One more time. Run it again.
Be blessed and stay positive.
Okay, just...
I'm positive right now. I'm struggling very, very well right now, y'all. I'm being honest. Like, I'm struggling.
Yeah.
Like, this week has not been nice to me, but it's all good.
Right. But we're staying positive.
I'm staying positive, and
Hey.
I guess Friday I got through it. And
Hey, it's Friday.
so, yeah. This, you know what? I can be honest. It is Friday, but this is about to be a rough Friday and rough weekend for me. But I got a lot to do this weekend, so it's going to be good.
It's only going to be rough if you want it to be.
That's
and you're
true.
already putting it out there. That's negative.
I know. Why you got to go there?
No, why you got to go there? I'm just pulling you out of there. You follow?
I know. I'm going to stay positive.
No, it's going to be fun. It's going to be challenging. It can be, right?
Challenging?
But who doesn't like a challenge?
Who doesn't like a challenge?
Exactly.
I love a challenge.
Exactly. So let's put our best foot forward. And I always say that.
Okay. But why my challenges got to be like
Fun?
fun?
Because you're going to smile.
Is that what you think my challenges are? They're fun?
Yeah.
This shit is not fun. This shit
But I got you laughing.
This shit is far from fun.
But she's smiling and laughing.
I am, because
you're
it is
already
funny.
winning.
Because I'm about to have a conversation with God later. Like,
Yeah. I'm just goofy.
I'm goofy too, but we're gonna have a conversation later.
Yeah.
Because
It's going to be
I don't want to be like, I get God put you through things because he can handle it, but it's like, come on, like, I don't want to always be the strong person.
Yeah. But maybe that's just not where he wants you to be. So he has to keep.
Like, I felt like the
Pivoting.
last 3 years he put me through so much, test or whatever it is that he was doing. Well, I know what he was doing,
Yeah.
but it's like, okay, I get it. Like, I think I learned. I saw my growth. Like,
Well, let him be, determined that he's putting the right people in your life. He's putting you down the path and the work that he wants you to do.
mm-hmm. I get it. I know. I'm not mad at him. I just said I want to have a conversation with him. Me and God have these conversations all the time.
That's
so
good. There you go.
It's all good.
There you go.
Anyways, we out of here. It's been a great conversation. Next week is going to be a great conversation. So yeah.
It's good times. Good times with Gotti.
Yes. All right.
All right, guys. Be well.